Right now at 10, putting safety first after last week's shooting. Find out how parents are reacting to new protocols for high school sports in Beloit.
It's crazy here. It's like the wild, wild west. It's almost an everyday thing.
And 3 people are dead, including a suspect after a shooting outside of Milwaukee. Why police are handing the investigation over to a different agency. Plus, it's a significant anniversary for the pandemic right here in Wisconsin, while the U.S. marks yet another grim milestone in its fight against COVID-19. That's all coming up at 10. Well, 1 week after a deadly shooting outside Beloit Memorial High School, the school district of Beloit is putting out new rules into place to ensure the safety of everyone at its sporting events. Tahlil Mohodin was there and has more from Beloit.
Tonight's game against Sun Prairie is the first basketball game where school officials will be implementing those new safety protocols. Many in attendance support the changes, but they do have some reservations. Those safety protocols include an added police presence, with security periodically surveying the parking lot where the deadly shooting occurred. Additionally, tickets will no longer be sold at the door, but instead sold electronically hours before the game. Parents like LaFonda Richardson say they have mixed feelings about the protocols. Richardson says she's 100% on board with the added police presence and thinks the school should have done it sooner. The ticketing aspect, however, she's worried it'll negatively impact her daughter's team.
It definitely affects who's going to come and support our kids, and I think that's where a lot of the parents are feeling very resistant about the new safety protocols.
The school's athletic director says he understands those concerns, adding these are changes he'd rather not make. He says while many feel safe at the school with or without those protocols, for a lot of people, last weekend's shooting was a traumatic experience, and he wants to focus on making those people feel safe.
Well, I mean, there's obviously going to be mixed feelings about changes. It doesn't matter what the change may be. Our goal has always been to make sure we have a safe environment.
Now, these changes will be in place not just for basketball games, but all sporting events moving forward. In Beloit, Tahlil Mohodin, News 3 Now.
And Beloit police say they're actively following up on leads connected to last Saturday's shooting. The department set up a hotline for tips after the city's police chief said more than 30 people who witnessed the shooting would not come forward with information. We are following developments tonight near Milwaukee, where 3 people, including a suspect, are dead after a shooting. This happened at the Park Plaza Court Apartments in Brown Deer, just north of the city. Officers were called to the building around 10 o'clock. When they got there, police say a man was shot at them from a balcony. A squad car was hit, but officers and no children were hurt. Police say they did not return any fire. Officers believe the 26-year-old suspect shot himself. He later died at the hospital. 2 other victims were a 31-year-old man and a 23-year-old woman. 1 other person was hurt.
While no officers from our agency or the North Shore agencies or any other agency fired their weapon, we brought the Milwaukee Area Investigative Team in to help us conduct it just because of the magnitude of the crime scene.
As for the people that live in the apartment complex, police say some residents are sheltering in place, but they are allowed to leave. Residents who were not home this morning may not be able to return until tomorrow morning while police investigate. And we're going to have much more on this developing story on our Channel 3000 News app. It's free and available in the App Store. All right, to weather now. Here's a live look outside. It's very cold today, but better days are ahead. Let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast right now with Austin Kopnitsky.
And you know, fun fact, right now where our temperatures are currently sitting, this is probably the coldest it's going to get here for tonight. With mostly cloudy skies and a southerly breeze, those temperatures are going to rise even through parts of the 20s. So it's 17 right now. Around midnight, we're likely going to be near 18 degrees. And then afterwards, we're going to see the lower and even mid-20s returning by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Doppler track does look great. There were some flurries and snow showers earlier in the day, especially in the northern half of the state. Most of those have since moved on, and we're just left with quite a bit of mostly cloudy skies overhead. Those aren't going anywhere here for tonight, so we're still going to see quite a bit of that cloud cover. Temperatures at 17, but look near the left side of your screen there. 23 in Boscobel, Prairie du Chien already up to 25. So that's that additional warmth that is going to slowly work its way through here in these overnight hours. So tomorrow morning, it's actually going to feel a little bit better to start out your day, and by the afternoon, we're going to see the 30s returning to the forecast. 18 degrees for that official low here tonight. But what about any snow chances in the extended forecast? One of them is actually for tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned. I'll have all the details you need to know and a look at your extended forecast coming up momentarily.
Thanks so much, Austin. It was 2 years ago today, February 5th, 2020, when COVID-19 became very real here in Wisconsin. That's the day that DHS announced it had identified their first case of the virus in the Badger State, and it was right here in Dane County. And here at News 3 Now, we've been covering the pandemic from the very beginning.
And thanks for joining us tonight. The first case of coronavirus now confirmed in Wisconsin, bringing the total number of cases in the United States to 12.
The patient is a Dane County resident and was diagnosed at UW Hospital here in Madison.
That person is now said to be self-isolated at home as the hospital waits on test results back from the CDC to see if anyone else who came into contact with this person will test positive.
This public health concern will not be solved with fear and discrimination. We will fight it with compassion and with science.
Since that very first case, more than 1.3 million cases have been confirmed in Wisconsin. 11,000 people have died, and nearly 2/3 of people in this state have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. And right now, new cases are continuing to trend downward for the first time in 2022. DHS data shows yesterday's 7-day average was 4,100 cases. Now, 16% of tests are still coming back positive, and all 72 counties are still in the critically high levels of COVID activity. More than 900,000 Americans have now died from COVID complications since the start of the pandemic. But with new cases and deaths trending downward, there is hope that this COVID surge might be the last. CBS News' Michael George has more.
It took less than 2 months for COVID-19 related deaths in the U.S. to jump from 800,000 to 900,000. That's more lives lost than the number of people living in several U.S. cities like San Francisco or Indianapolis. President Biden on Friday worked to put the situation in perspective.
The physical and emotional weight of the pandemic has been incredibly difficult to bear for so many people. But here's the good news. We have the tools to save lives and to keep businesses open and keep schools open, keep workers on the job.
And now the Omicron variant is showing signs of receding, with new daily cases dropping by nearly 500,000 since mid-January. And according to Johns Hopkins University, every state is seeing a decline in new daily case numbers. That comes as a relief after the highly contagious variant also took a toll on the youngest Americans.
For the last several months, while Omicron has been surging, children 0 to 4 years of age have been hospitalized at 3 times the rate of children between 5 and 17 years of age, and at a rate equivalent to adults.
This week, Pfizer asked the FDA to grant emergency use authorization for 2 doses of its COVID vaccine for children under 5. Meanwhile, the drug maker is researching whether 3 doses would be more effective for that age group. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Now, the CDC is changing its recommendation for some people when it comes to the booster shots. People who are immunocompromised are now recommended to get a 4th shot at least 3 months after their previous booster. The previous recommendation was after 5 months. And Canada's capital is coming to a standstill again this weekend because of trucker protest. The truckers call themselves the Freedom Convoy. They're blocking the streets of Ottawa to protest a new mandate requiring drivers entering Canada to be fully vaccinated or face routine testing. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he has no plans to negotiate with the protesters. And continuing coverage tonight of the death of Amir Locke, hundreds of people in Minneapolis are demanding justice for the 22-year-old. Locke was shot and killed by Minneapolis police officers this week during a no-knock warrant. Today's protest was planned before police released more body cam footage last night. Protesters are calling for the officers involved to get arrested and an immediate ban on no-knock warrants.
I think it's just important to recognize that this isn't just about one officer or one incident. This is about an overarching, systematic problem that we see with the Minneapolis Police Department, and we have to change it.
The mayor of Minneapolis is taking action tonight. He's imposing a moratorium on both the request and execution of no-knock warrants in the city. In a statement, he says no matter what information comes to light, it won't face the changes of the fact that Locke's life was cut short. People also were seen rallying today in Miami, Florida on what would have been Trayvon Martin's 27th birthday. Martin's family and activists continue to call for change nearly 10 years after the unarmed 17-year-old was shot and killed. Attorney Ben Crump joined Martin's family today. The event was organized by Trayvon Martin's Foundation. Next tonight at 10, a student at Madison East High School has died after a skiing accident. In a letter to families, interim principal Mickey Smith says that Alex West was taken off of life support yesterday. Smith said the sophomore will be remembered for all of the genuine relationships that he built. The school did not have any information on funeral arrangements, but say that student services staff will be on campus next week to help out any students who need counseling. A tragic update tonight to a story that gained a lot of attention around the world. A 5-year-old boy trapped in a well in Morocco since Tuesday has died. The boy was rescued today, 4 days after falling 100 feet. Today's news comes after crews undertook a courageous rescue effort, digging a shaft of more than 90 feet overnight. Well, still ahead at 10, find out how the Queen is going to be celebrating an historic milestone in the UK. And this weekend is all about Madison's frozen lakes. You can join in on the fun coming up tomorrow.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Any first item removed, just $89.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Family, all in this together. Family, we're taking a chance. Family, like birds of a feather. Family, kick off our shoes and dance. Hey!
Some traditions just keep getting better and better. Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL, and America's best-selling trucks now for the 45th year in a row.
We protect more than the car you drive. We protect the dreams that drive you. The It's Not Where We Visit, but Who We Visit policy from American Family Insurance.
End of the road trip.
Protect yourself on the road with a travel peace of mind package, included when you enroll in the Know Your Drive program. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Any first item removed, just $89.
More and more people are getting scammed on social media. Sunday, we'll share ways to protect yourself online. And we'll also have a look at your workweek forecast. Join us Sunday morning at 6:30.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television.
Britain's Prince Andrew will be speaking under oath next month. The prince is facing a civil case after a woman alleges that she was trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein and forced to perform sex acts with the prince. The woman's attorney says they're looking forward to confronting the prince and taking him to court. Meanwhile, Queen Elizabeth is using an historic milestone to redefine the future of the British monarchy. Tomorrow will be the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. That's when she marks 70 years on the throne. The 95-year-old will become the first British monarch to celebrate this milestone ever. To mark the occasion, she's calling for the Duchess of Cornwall to be known as Queen Camilla when Charles becomes king. It's becoming a familiar headline lately. Another prominent state lawmaker is stepping down. Senate Minority Leader Janet Bewley has announced that she's not going to be running for re-election this fall. We sat down with Bewley this week about what's next for Democrats at the Capitol. She's been the Senate Minority Leader for basically the entire pandemic since April of 2020, and she's served in the Senate since 2015. We did ask her, what advice does she have for Democrats if they lose to Governor Tony Evers in the fall?
You just keep going. You know, history is written by people who don't give up. The stories of defeat and then success, you know, the people at the barricades, the conditions under which George Washington continued to fight in the American Revolution.
Bewley joins a lot of other major leaders in both parties who are either leaving or stepping down for leadership roles. Tomorrow morning on For the Record, join Naomi Coles for her entire conversation with Bewley and the regrets and triumphs that she's had along the way. In more local news tonight, for many people, spending a day outside on the lake sounds like a summer activity, but for hundreds of local families, this weekend is a reminder that it's a lot of fun in the winter too. Christina Laurie takes us to this year's Frozen Assets Festival.
It's such a gift here in Madison that we have these large lakes that become our largest parks in the winter.
Year after year, 58 miles of shoreline and 5 lakes put Madison on list after list of the best places to live.
Having Frozen Assets back is just great for us, and it's great for the whole community.
Where else can you run a 5K, walk your dog, take your kids for a sled ride, and find Nemo all in one weekend?
The money that's raised today goes right back to the lakes.
The Frozen Assets Festival on Lake Mendota and at the Edgewater Hotel doubles as a fundraiser for the Clean Lakes Alliance, which has added importance this year after bad weather canceled the 2021 fest.
Obviously, we weren't having it as a fundraiser, but we weren't having it as a friend-raiser as well. All the people that come out today, we're getting them excited about the lakes and excited about our organization and things that they can do to improve the lakes.
Since 2012, the Alliance has raised $1.2 million for lake improvement projects. This weekend could raise $150,000 more.
For the rest of the winter, while the lake is still frozen, get out and walk on the lake. It is such a unique experience.
Adam predicts about 2 more months of ice cover and says the layer over Lake Mendota is about 12 to 15 inches thick right now. The average ice off date is April 3rd, although that's moving earlier every year.
For us to utilize these lakes, not in the summer, but in the winter too, really just shows how important these lakes are to our community and why we need to protect them.
In beautiful Madison, Christina Laurie, News 3 Now.
And if you can't make it to the festival this weekend, there's plenty of ways that you can get to the lakes from home. You can find those on our website, channel3000.com. Okay, take a look at this. This comes today from Pebble Beach's Pro-Am. Jordan Spieth had a very scary shot, to say the least. He was standing right off of a cliff with a 68-foot drop, and rather than take the penalty shot, Spieth goes for it, and he actually hits it onto the green. Spieth would par this hole, and you can watch the tournament's final round tomorrow afternoon right here on CBS. Maybe you'll see another crazy shot. What'd you think of that one, Austin?
Wow. I mean, that's the first time I actually saw the footage of it. I saw the push notifications earlier, but that's scary, if you ask me. Oh, man. Bill Murray also hit a no-look putt, too, so that's something to look into as well. But live look outside right now, we're going to see a lot of cloud cover for tonight. But in the wintertime, cloud cover at night, you know, it's sometimes a good friend of ours. It's going to actually act as a blanket, keeping our temperatures a little bit elevated, and we're actually going to increase those temperatures throughout these overnight hours. Tomorrow, we have a chance for a few flurries and even some lighter snow showers. But it looks like on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now even on Friday, we actually have some 30s returning to the forecast, and we're also tracking a few snow chances towards the middle and end of this next work week. But our current Doppler track, it does look great. There's not really much of a flurry chance here for tonight, but we're still going to see quite a bit of that cloud cover lingering around the area. But taking a look at our future track, temperatures increasing overnight thanks to the cloud cover for one, and secondly, we're also seeing those southerly winds moving up. And also, we do have a pool of warmer air here that's actually just moving into the area. So that's going to bring those 20s by the time we actually see tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, the 30s return to the forecast. It'll feel quite mild out there compared to some of the colder days we've seen. But then towards the afternoon and evening, that's when we're also going to see those flurries and even some snow showers making their way through. In terms of how much snow we're going to get, it really won't be much, but we could still see a dusting, a few tenths of an inch here and there. And as we saw just earlier this week, a few tenths of an inch is really all we need to actually cause those slick spots on some roadways, even for a brief moment. So if you do end up seeing that late in the day tomorrow, take it slow on the roads. But that is also going to cool us back down here by the time you reach Monday afternoon. High temperatures only reaching those lower 20s. So we are going to see that brief cool down, but then a warm up right afterwards. Now let's talk about some of those later rain and snow chances that we're talking about later on into the week. On Wednesday, we might even see a rain shower. High temperatures expected to be in the upper 30s. So if that does come early enough in the day, I do think that we could see a rain shower before it does switch over to a few flurries and lighter snow showers. And then for Thursday night and into Friday morning, that's when I think we have our best chance to actually see some local accumulation here. So that's what we're watching out for right now. With the nature of this system, it could end up shifting up to the north or south. So this forecast, we're still going to have a few more questions that need answered over these next few days, but that's what we're here for. Now, our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook does show that we're going to be pretty close to average right near the end of the forecast. And our forecast also is pretty close in line with that. Temperature is actually a little bit above average here at times for this next work week. Even on Sunday, that high of 34 degrees, our average high is 28. So we're going to see some temperatures that are a little bit warmer than average, but do watch out tomorrow. If we do see enough snowfall, it's not going to be a lot, but it could lead to some slick spots.
I was going to say, I mean, this is pretty nice start to the February season. We're getting close to spring.
Right. It's a lot nicer than January. It was cold at times there for that January. Oof.
February just seems like a month in and of itself. We're just not quite there.
Yeah, a transition month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're close. All right, thanks, Austin. Well, the Badgers were at home against Penn State. It was a gritty showdown, and we're going to have much more coming up next in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection serves all of Dane County and the surrounding communities. And with our new location in Monroe, we also proudly serve all of Greene County.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Winter in Wisconsin means snow, blustering winds, and sub-zero temperatures. Will your insulation keep your home warm? Fry Construction can always help. We're your roofing and insulation pros. We'll find cracks and air pathways in your insulation that are letting in the icy cold and hindering your comfort. With our thermal imaging and our cutting-edge insulation techniques, you'll be sure that your home will be warm and energy efficient for many years to come. Visit fryconstruction.com today and prepare your home for the long winter.
Taking a chance. Family. Like birds of a feather. Family. Kick off your shoes and dance. Hey.
Some traditions just keep getting better and better. Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL, and America's best-selling trucks now for the 45th year in a row.
I was a Navy submariner for over 20 years. I spent a large portion of my life underwater. Service is about putting your country before yourself. But Senator Ron Johnson uses his office to serve himself. Ron Johnson passed a special tax break that benefited his family's business, then cashed out of the company for $5 million. Ron Johnson has doubled his wealth since he's been elected. That's not what service is about. Tell Ron Johnson to stop voting for tax laws that benefit himself.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
Every morning, many Wisconsin families get up, go to work, and hopefully return home safely. Unfortunately, that's not always the case.
If you've been injured, call us today. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
What makes a teacher a teacher? A retired Madison educator seeking loan relief wants an answer to that question.
I think I should have the opportunity that all the other teachers have.
How her call for action to us is making a difference. Sunday on News 3 Now at 10.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning. Visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
The Wisconsin men's basketball team is all about practicing what they preach, like not dwelling on their losses, even if they are far and few in between. Not once this season have the Badgers dropped back-to-back games, hoping that trend continues as they return home for a meeting with Penn State. A lackluster first half makes the score look more like a football game at the break. The Badgers are up 18-13. Both Johnny Davis and Brad Davison held scoreless until late in the second half. That's when the shots start falling. Davis steps back for the bucket, 2 of his season-low 4 points. Then it's Stephen Crow who drains the go-ahead triple, and with under a minute to go with this game tied up, it's Tyler Wall who delivers at the rim. Wisconsin wins this gritty game 51-49, proving once again they can get the job done in a variety of different ways.
As I told them, I said, good teams find a way when things aren't going your way offensively. I thought defensively, maybe one of our better efforts of the year, because it had to be. When you get in these type of games, and it's not the first time we've been in them, that you have to find other ways defensively on the glass, taking care of the ball, and just being able to find enough offense and have other guys step up and help us.
The Big Ten owns collegiate wrestling. I mean, there's no other way to put it. 6 out of the top 10 are all Big Ten programs, and today a marquee conference duel between powerhouse programs Iowa and Wisconsin. It's the Badgers who open up scoring the very first match at 125. Eric Bennett blanks his opponent and wins by decision. Well, the Hawkeyes answer immediately to jump out to a 9-3 lead, so Austin Gomez uses this opportunity to his team's advantage. Edge is Vince Turk with a 3-2 decision to pull UW within 3 points, but Iowa flexes that number 2 ranking. They go on to win their next 6 matches, ultimately winning the duel. Friday night proved to be a tough one for the Wisconsin women's hockey team. For the first time this season, the Badgers got shut out, and this time it was on their home ice in front of a sellout crowd. But if there's one thing that this squad shows anytime they're faced with challenges, it's that they respond with force. Back at LeBon for Game 2 with UMD, Darryl Watts lights the lamp on the power play to give the Badgers an early lead. That's just the start for Watts. She nets 2 more in the second period, one of which is a shorthanded goal. Her hat trick leads the Badgers to a win, splitting this weekend series.
I like to think of our broadcast as the grit factory as well. I feel like we got some gritty qualities, just like the Badgers.
So if I show up tomorrow with Grit Factory hats, we'll be rocking them?
Yeah. Matching. From now on,
twins.
I was going to say, from now on, we are the co-Grit Factory. All right, we'll be sponsored with the Badgers.
Sounds good. All right, sounds good. I like it. I like where your head's going.
Thanks so much, Jordan. We're going to be right back.
Save, we believe fresh is all about standards. That's why we do up to a 27-point inspection on our produce. Like for oranges, we check for color and scarring and more, keeping only the best of the best on our shelves. Because when it comes to fresh for everyone, we believe the juice is worth the squeeze. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Dear Jack Frost, people say you've got ice in your veins. But underneath it all, you're just a big old softie. Go ahead, try to nip at our toes. Thanks to our available Remote Connect, we'll be toasty and warm and ready to go. Warm wishes, Toyota Cars.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a 2-year or 25,000-mile maintenance plan and roadside assistance. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
American Family Insurance filmed a commercial featuring real dads and their kids. No scripts, just family. Because nothing speaks louder than that.
Prayers, prayers, prayers. Time to say our prayers. Dio, Dio, Dio. Are you ready to say your prayers? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Guess what? You get 2 kisses.
Uh-oh.
Guys,
ladies. If you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, Peak Performance for Men has a natural solution that can help you today. That's right. Stop wasting money on pills and inferior technology that hurts and just masks your ED. Fix it for good. The best part, our ED treatment is non-invasive, painless, and you can get back to your natural functionability after just a few short in-office sessions. Call us today and mention this ad, and your initial consultation is free. We are Madison's trusted specialist and only national erectile dysfunction provider. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
Do you want to create your dream home? Then you should attend the Madison Build, Remodel, and Landscape Show, where admission is free this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only at the Monona Terrace Convention Center. Make contacts, hire contractors, explore the best in kitchens, baths, and custom remodeling, windows, doors, and room additions. Whatever improvements your home needs, you'll find solutions at the Build, Remodel, and Landscape Show. Free admission this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only at the Monona Terrace Convention Center.
Whether you have a design emergency or you just want to shop the best furniture showroom in town, you need Dwellings, Madison's best kept secret for design and furniture. Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
Download the Channel 3000 First Warn Weather app today. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
All right, now I'm feeling old because Shaun White says this is going to be his last Olympics. The 35-year-old snowboarder announced his retirement plans today in Beijing. He says he's had a lot of injuries leading up to his 5th Olympic Games. The Flying Tomato, as he's so commonly known as, has won 3 half-pipe Olympic gold medals since the Winter Games back in 2006. And maybe this will be an Olympic sport in 2024. I know my producer Steven wants it to be. This is Kai Sandmeyer. He's a 30-year-old IT professional in Germany who now holds a unique world record, hula hooping while planking for more than 6 minutes. To make this performance count, Sandmeyer had to be filmed from several different angles and have 2 witnesses and do it in public.
He's so serious, too.
The concentration levels are incredible.
There's no emotion on his face.
Well, I mean, that's a skill. I mean, he's way more talented than me, so.
You won't see me doing that.
Congratulations. How's the weather looking?
Yeah, you know, it's looking pretty good. Tomorrow, we're going to watch out for a few of those afternoon snow showers and flurries. Could bring a dusting or a few tenths of an inch, but Shaun White, I grew up watching him, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much, Austin, and thanks so much for joining us. Good night, everyone.